Score the game.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Who is super excited to be here? Yes. We are here for the exclusive early screening of Disney Pixar's Incredible 2, and we are going to be seeing this incredible adventure in the most incredible way possible on an IMAX screen here at AMC Theaters. And we want to thank IMAX and AMC for hosting today's special event at the AMC Century City Theater here in Los Angeles. And we want to welcome everyone to the IMAX AMC Theaters who are in Boston, New York, San Francisco, and we got Washington, D.C., and Miami, and of course, everybody who is watching online. Welcome, and ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome the cast and crew of Incredibles 2. On the front row, right here on the left, we have Huck Milner as Dash Pearl, Sarah Vowell as Violet, Sophia Bush as Void, producers John Walker and Nicole Grindle. On the right, in the back, we have Catherine Keener, Bob Odenkirk, and ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Samuel L. Jackson, Holly Hunter, and Mr. Incredible himself, Craig T. Nelson.
Yes.
And Bob Odenkirk. You
Bob
skipped
Odenkirk,
one.
I said Bob Odenkirk. That's a lot of people.
He was getting so much applause, you couldn't hear him.
Yeah. Well, we're all here now, and really the first
I'm
question
Brad
for
Bird.
Brad and for the producers is, so not only to see Incredibles 2 on a big screen, but seeing it in an IMAX screen, like what are some of the rewards that we're going to see because it is projected and shown on the biggest screen possible at IMAX?
Well, I just think that there are a lot of gimmicks associated with certain movies, and to me, nothing beats a big screen. I mean, it just really is the way to see a movie, and so it fills your field of vision, and I think makes you feel like you're there.
How about you?
I thought we were doing a live stage reading.
Oh yeah. We're going to.
They're actually going to see the movie. We're not going to read it and like act it out for them.
Well, you can.
Oh,
We're going to do Streetcar Named Desire, so let's get started.
my bad.
I want to ask the producers and of course Brad about the time frame of this movie. I went into this movie thinking it was going to take place in a certain place. I don't want to give anything away here, but what was behind the decision to start the movie when it did?
Well, we left people wanting more at the end of the last film. I think a lot of people thought it was deliberate that we ended with that scene. As it turns out, it wasn't quite deliberate, but it was a great place to start with the family. There was this villain. Everyone wanted to see what the outcome was with that fight. But I think with something you can do in animation. You can't do that in live action, wait 14 years and start.
Yeah, I mean, I worked on 8 years of The Simpsons, and they're still on TV. There's Bart hasn't aged, and so yeah, it's something you can do, unless their voice changes. And Dash's voice did change. He went into his 20s, and so we thought Spencer Fox was great as Dash, and we were thinking, oh man, you know, how are we ever going to find somebody as good as Spencer? And we did, and his name is Huck Milner, and he's fantastic.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes.
And it's an audacious and bold way to start a film. Wait 14 years and start it 5 seconds later.
Yeah. Well, Huck, I got to ask you, how old are you?
I'm 10 years old.
You're 10 years old. So the first movie came out in 2004. So I'm going to guess that you were not around
Nope.
to see the movie on the big screen. But you became a fan of the first movie by watching it a lot, right?
Yeah, I loved the first movie. And my dad showed me it when I was like 5, and I just watched it. And when I got the call to be part of Incredibles 2, to try to be a part of it, I just used that as an excuse to watch it again.
So to be at the premiere last night for you, after watching the movie so many times, to be at the premiere because you are Dash in Incredibles 2, how exciting was that for you?
That was exciting, scary, and I was very nervous beforehand because yeah, I've never been to a premiere before, and it was just so much people, and it was just really exciting.
Sophia Bush, ladies and gentlemen. Void? Yes.
Hi, y'all. Thanks for coming.
Now, what did you love the most about the first movie, and how does not only your presence in the second film, but how do you think Incredibles 2 really raises the bar for this movie in so many ways?
Oh, guys, it's so good. I can't wait for you to see this movie. But for me, and as Brad knows and all these guys, I'm a huge Pixar fan. And Incredibles has always been my favorite of all the amazing Pixar movies. And so I've embarrassed myself enough telling this story that I can do it one more time. When I got the letter from Brad to play Void, I was in public, and I screamed real loud. And it was an uncontrollable reaction, and basically like this, all these eyes were on me, but I wasn't prepared for it, so it was a tremendously embarrassing moment. And then I sort of started to cry, and people thought something was wrong, and I was like, it's amazing news, everything's fine, I have to go. And I think that it hit me the way that it did because the movie gets everybody because it's about family and community and service and belonging and things we all relate to. And then there's this delicious layer of really funny comedy on top that's wrapped up in a bow about superheroes. There's literally nothing better. And this movie takes all of that magic and just ups the stakes. Absolutely. And it works, and it's so fun.
The other thing, it is definitely fun, and everything. Like what you just said. It's amazing. There's so many moving parts to this movie. It works on so many levels. But, you know, Craig and Holly and Sam and Violet, everybody steps up. And there's an amazing role reversal that goes on in this film that I was not expecting and just felt so perfect for right now. Holly, what do you think?
Well, I do think that it's wonderful to see ELASTIGIRL kind of living up to her gift unabashedly with no apologies. In the first movie, I reluctantly, become a superhero again to save my husband. But with this one, you'll see. I kind of get to have my own power, my own autonomy. I get to use my own brain, figure things out by myself. I think, there's a lot of courage and bravery that she kind of displays. She's, the intelligence that ELASTIGIRL has is, it was really, halfway through the recording sessions, I turned to Brad and I said, my part is so great.
But Sarah,
you remember
Violet steps up too.
Yeah, I mean, ELASTIGIRL does do a lot, but eventually everybody else she lets us help out, including Violet. And I mean, I think eventually after, she has her moment in the sun, everybody pulls together, and the entire, all the family, and Frozone, who is, a member of the family, they all work together and use their individual powers collectively while retaining their individuality.
This sounds pretty heavy, man.
So
No,
the
no,
movie's pretty fun.
but it's so fun.
Shut up,
The movie is so
cartoon.
fun. It's so fun. And but I would love to get your take on that too, Craig.
What's that?
About the role reversal.
I'm sorry, who are you?
I'm the moderator.
Oh, it's my psychiatrist. Hello.
What's your take on just how like ELASTIGIRL and Mr.
That's
Cover?
fantastic. I mean, when Brad told me about the idea that it was going to be a stay-at-home dad for Bob Parr, I was a little resentful. I thought I should be out there crime fighting and busting things and hanging out with Frozone, probably having Slurpees somewhere. So,
Ices.
and that didn't happen. So I'm at home taking care of the kids, and it was, needless to say, it's instructive. And so I learned a lot, and at the same time, I'm learning how to give my wife the freedom to go out and do what she does the best. And that was exciting for me.
Yeah, but people are kind of starting to act like it was a socially conscious decision or something. I was just thinking, this will really mess Bob up, you know? It's about as deep as it was.
It did. I haven't recovered, as you can see. It's
Now, Samuel L. Jackson, so you're part of one family, one superhero family, back in 2004 with the first Incredibles movie as Frozone. And then in between the first film and the second film, you became part of another superhero family in the MCU, which, of course, we like to call the Marvel Cinematic Universe, as Nick Fury.
We saw him first.
Yes, you did see him first, actually. But Sam, what's it like being a part of really two superhero families like this?
Well, in one I
one is
am a
better looking?
superhero, and the other I just kind of control superheroes, or more or less manipulate them. So it's really great to be a part of this particular family, especially since, like Holly said, I'm given a chance to use my own mind and spread my wings and display the icy character that I really have, and do all the things that I've always wanted to do as a young man when I thought I was Silver Surfer and realized I was not. So this is very satisfying and wonderful and great, and I'm so glad all those people who have been texting me and Instagramming and tweeting, when are you going to make another movie, like I was in charge? So I tried to give them Brad's account, but nobody texts or Instagrams or tweets Brad about, when are you going to make another Incredible? So I've fulfilled my mission and talked him into it. And here we are.
Here we are, yeah. Bob and Catherine. Bob Odenkirk, Catherine Keener, everybody. So I was wondering, Bob and Catherine, if you could talk about the stakes of this movie. What's at stake here? And tell us about the DEAVOR siblings. When you get your mics.
Oh, I play DEAVOR. This is my sister, Evelyn.
Hi.
And we run a major company, a tech company.
Dev Tech.
We love superheroes.
Yeah, we want to bring them back.
Yeah, we want to bring them out from underground where they've been driven. And that's all I can say.
Otherwise, it's spoilerific.
Right. We don't want to do that. But you
Keener,
did have the
what is
premiere.
it like to be in a movie that people will see? I'm just kidding.
Oh, man.
Don't look at me.
I'm excited. How did it feel, Sarah?
Okay. Let's bring it back
Can I
a
just
step.
say one thing?
Snowballs.
I just want to say one thing. I think that the fact that I don't think it's a role reversal. I think it's sort of a reflection of reality, and it's been reality for a long time. And I'm really happy to see Holly kick ass. That's all.
Yeah.
I second that.
Well, we have some questions from fans who have tweeted in. This first one is from Edward is the man. That's his Twitter handle.
Wow.
Edward is the man. But his question is, if you could have any superpower, what would it be? I'm looking at you, Sophia Bush.
I don't know that it would technically be a superpower, but I want to be able to teleport real bad. Like, I want to be able to snap my fingers and be like, oh, poof, look, I'm in London. Anywhere you want to go. No airports, no TSA, no more lines.
No
more
405.
flights. That'd be a game changer. You'd save so much money. You'd save so much jet fuel. It would be like very eco-friendly and financially responsible at the same time. I want that power.
Oh, you're gonna be
How about you,
green
Huck?
teleporter.
Yeah, I'm going to be a really energy efficient teleporter,
right.
Sam.
Not coal-powered
No,
teleporting. That-
I'm like
that's
the
not gonna work.
Tesla of teleportation.
No.
How about you, Huck?
No carbon footprint.
So I want to have super speed, like Dash, because, well, I'm really slow, and I lose at every game of tag, so it's another reason. And I want to be able to beat my cousins at running or doing something, but yeah. So I want to be able to use super speed, and yeah, I want to be able to go to like my grandma's house really quickly, so that I'm not late.
Next question is from, let's see, we got Violet Robinson's, is this person's Twitter handle. What was it like reuniting the original cast and bringing in new cast members? Let's start, Craig and Holly. Reuniting together, but also having more people join the cast.
Yeah, it was really exciting because it had been 14 years. So you come back to something that I wasn't sure I could do. I mean, vocally, I wasn't sure I could get there. But, going in with Brad and knowing that the success of the first one, it was exciting. At the same time, what's he going to do? What's he going to write? What's he going to come up with, John and Pixar, that's going to supersede what we did? And, I mean, it's pretty remarkable what they came up with. And it was just a lot of fun. It was, the sessions for me were about maybe 4 hours long sometimes, and you do them about once a month or once every 2 months, and it was just a lot of fun. Brad's in there with you in the sound booth, and you're doing the recordings with him, and he's doing some of the voices, and it's great. A lot of laughs.
Well, Holly, let's talk about how the movie works on so many levels, because it is so much fun. It is so exciting. It has so much heart. But then there are so many things that just make it not just a great animated movie, but a great movie, period.
Well, I saw it last night, really for the first time, and I can't wait to see it again, because it has complexity, it has sophistication, it's just so much fun. I mean, it really is fun to see Jack, and it's a testament to Brad that all of us only recorded with Brad. So the reunion that you were talking about is really just a reunion that we have
Right now.
Right now. Yeah. We've never all been in the same room
never been
together.
in the
yet.
same
I mean, and Craig and I only just met like 8 months ago.
I barely even know her.
But the movie feels so intimate. I mean, the family feels there's such intimacy there with the PARRs that I feel it too. And I just think that this movie has, I felt in a way like I was inside the movie as an audience member, not as ELASTIGIRL, but the audience is more inside this movie than ever in a way that I can't quite explain, but you're getting ready to experience.
Do you feel that way too, Sam, as far as like when you are making an animated film? Because we spent so much time working on it versus a live action. Are you able to enjoy it more, like have that disconnect where you're just able to just enjoy the movie and almost forget that it's even you?
I never forget it's me. What are you
And we don't either.
That's why we do this. It's all about me. What are you talking about? The time it takes and the care that is given when I'm in the studio with these guys, and not the actual cast, but to be with producers, Brad, the engineer. It feels very different that it's a family there that cares about what's going on. And when we do it and we laugh about it, it's more than, okay, faster, slower, louder, softer. It's, okay, think about the kids and this thing is happening and there's a lot of excitement, there's a lot of noise, so do it this way. And Brad's very good at that. And they're very encouraging, sitting in the back room, laughing and clapping and letting you know that this is what's going to happen when people see the movie, because this is what we're doing now because you're doing it so well. And
We even light little lighters
engaging.
and go like this.
They do, yeah. And it's all that, and sometimes the engineers are laughing and they're doing stuff, so you know when you're being effective, and it's a great feeling. And every now and then, he'll show you a snippet, so you'll say, oh my God, I can't wait for the audience to see this. Ah! And it's not even your stuff. They never show you your stuff. They'll show you other people's stuff. So it's very cool. It's very inclusive. And I do feel like I'm a part of it. So when there's another Pixar film being made or another Pixar film coming out, you kind of watch it, and in the back of your mind, you're comparing it to your movie going, nah, not yet. No, you haven't caught us yet.
I want to ask, can I ask you a question? Why are they named PARR?
It is a name that kind of says average. And yeah.
Genius.
So I was.
It's like he's
Very
good
good
at
friends
his
with Jack
job.
for a long time.
You know, I could.
Will you say more? Because I do think that that's amazing that you name these superheroes PARR, because that's. I'm sorry, am I talking? I'm not talking.
Yeah, you're kinda, we're having
Sorry.
a conversation here.
No, I had asked Brad why he named them PARR, and you were answering in a way that was very interesting to me.
Cool.
Please
Well,
go on.
welcome to the family.
Well, look, Brad, so what is a film series without the inevitable third movie? Have you thought about that? Or no? Or you just want to get the second
Too
one
soon.
out?
Brad,
Too
it's
soon.
okay.
Let's find the
breath,
maternity ward and ask all the new mothers how they feel about the next kid. Come on, you can do it.
Fair enough. Okay, so here's my question. Okay, so Pixar is part of Disney. Marvel is part of Disney. See where I'm going with this? How about the Incredibles join the Avengers?
How about we keep these universes separate and friendly relations across the galaxy. We wish them well. They wish us well. But to me, it's like, you have Thanksgiving, you have all these great components to a meal. There's inevitably the guy who stirs it all together into a mush and then eats it. And I always go, ugh. Individually, all these things were great. Mushed together, ugh. So I just like them separate and equal and happiness to all.
Well, on top of just bringing back the Incredibles, how did it feel to bring back Edna?
It's disturbing. She doesn't really take direction and, always thinks that her time would be better spent elsewhere. So getting her to, feel like she should do this it's work,
Can't get her to show up on time. She doesn't.
Yeah, she doesn't really
demands
respect
more
movies,
money every
that
time she
much.
walks into the room.
And she won't do any marketing.
She won't
Who
do it.
directs her?
Not here.
She tells me the way she's going to do it, and I have to agree.
Undirectable.
Yeah, that's what she is.
Holly, did you know that Brad does a really good impression of you? So I don't know if he does impressions of all of us while you're
He does.
He does?
He does all of us.
I think
That's true.
Maybe later on you can speak at all our funerals.
Yeah. No, you're all going to outlive me, I'm sure. You had to take it there.
That took a turn.
Wow.
It really is a happy movie, folks. We swear.
One more question for you, Brad. This one comes from the T.C. Patterson. And this question was, how did the DEAVOR siblings come about?
Just like the first movie in a really strange way, they came later in the process, originally Catherine was a brother, and you know, Bob's character, Winston Dever, wasn't in the first iteration of the story. It was about AI in some way. So the superhero story kind of came together late, which is kind of like the first, a little bit of the first movie. I just had to write a lot on this one and throw a lot away and kill a lot of darlings, things that I loved that just didn't serve the family story, which is really the core of the movie.
Well, you know, because we've had so many superhero movies, comic book movies in the last, 20 years, or just last year alone in 2017, there were 6 superhero movies.
There was just another one that just came out right now.
Yeah, there was Avengers and Deadpool, and then you had Black Panther. So what kind of, I don't want to say pressures, but what were the challenges really to make this a superior sequel, but also a superior superhero film?
Well, I think the main thing is just staying, in what was unique about the first film, which is the superhero part is secondary to the parts of the roles you play within a family. You know, every one of us has been the newborn baby. Many of us have been the super hyper energetic 10-year-old, the insecure teenager, and many of us have grown up to become parents. And all of that is connectable in a way that, and then you add the superhero-ness just to spin it on its head. And so I think that that's where we had to keep our eye focused. Yeah, but I think the challenge with the sequel is feeling like it's the same universe and same characters as the original film, but being unexpected at the same time, and that's hard to do.
Well, when you're playing a superhero, there's especially an animated one. It's always fun to ask, like, what is it about Mr. Incredible, about Bob Parr, that you admire the most, Craig?
Well, I think he's fairly innocent and slightly naive. But I like his determination to make things right, to go after the bad guys. And that's his singular purpose. And the other thing about this one is that he develops a whole other persona that's really interesting and interesting to play. The one thing about Brad is that when he's talking about this latest film, we would come in to do some sessions, and Brad would say, the session we did last month, we're going to redo it. And it would be, how come? He'd say, well, I've had an idea change. And so he's so adaptable, and he was changing as we went along. And it's really fun. That makes it a lot of fun.
How about you, Holly? What is it about Helen, about ELASTIGIRL, that you admire the most?
Well, I think, she has equal investment in both the family. I mean, I love that at one point, and this is not really a spoiler thing, but at one point I'm deeply, deeply involved in the superhero work, and there's a little bit of a hitch in Bob's voice that I hear on the phone, and I am ready to throw it all over and come home to save the family from Bob. And I kind of adore that. And I mean, her flexibility is really made manifest in this movie in very, very specific ways that I also find so endearing about her. That it's like the apex of being a multitasker that so many mothers, I think, obviously feel.
Sophia, because you're such a huge Pixar fan, what blew you away making this movie? What was the thing that you learned the most, that you, even being the big Pixar fan that you are, that you didn't know?
I think what's so amazing is to see behind the scenes and to tour the campus and to look at these maps of color temperatures for films on the walls and the clay modeling that goes into it, and from the sketches to the drawings to the 2D animation to the 3D, And then you go through the animators' offices, which, by the way, are decorated like the coolest jungles and castaway tents and fake downed airplanes and like the weirdest things you've ever seen. And no surprise, from the most creative people in the world. And you're looking at the layering that it takes to make these films, and you see, you know, the characters in some scenes are floating around like the blow-up dolls outside of a car sale, and then suddenly they're animated, and then suddenly the texture for the clothing is animated, and every layer of it requires so much talent. It's so complex. The tech behind what you guys do is absolutely mind-boggling, and there are hundreds of people all working around the clock on this stuff, and you've never met a happier bunch. Wow. And you're kind of like, maybe I should have majored in computer science. Got it. It's really just such an amazing thing to see behind the curtain into the amount of work that goes into these films.
And the amount of work, 14 years, that's a lot of time for technology to advance. And how did those advances, how will we see those advances when we watch it right now in IMAX?
Well, it's getting harder to talk about because at the beginning, the art form was so new, or the technology was so new, that it's like, this is the first film where we did fur. You know, we got fur now. And you can go, okay. And it's easy to talk about, but now it's advanced, and there are still tons of advances, but they're smaller, incremental advances.
Spoiler alert, they are killing waffles now.
We do a good waffle now.
The waffles in this movie are, oh my God.
I feel like your ice also looks amazing.
I was ready to eat
that waffle.
They're using real food in this thing.
Bob made
That's not cartoon food. That's
Bob
real
made
food.
that waffle.
I don't think this is going to find its way into the marketing somehow. With waffles.
Yeah, man.
There is, though, to me, the funniest scene from a behind-the-scenes point of view is in the first movie. Violet because she has long flowy hair, and that was impossible to animate when they started. And so for most of the first movie, Violet was bald because there were these scientists in a cave who would. John Walker would go down there every so often, and they would say the hair is still theoretical.
I would beat them.
And in this movie, there's a scene where Violet is drying her hair, and I just laughed and laughed because they're just showing off.
Yeah.
Look at what we can do with the hair now.
The hair, it's about the hair. So you had the premiere last night, and the reactions so people come up to you after the movie, they're at the party. So was there something that somebody said to you last night that stuck with you? Something, whether it's friends, family, just people at the premiere, they come up to you and they said, oh my God, this movie meant so much to me. Whatever it was, is there something that stayed with you from something someone said last night at the premiere? Craig?
No. I want to take this home with me. My granddaughter, one of my granddaughters, I have 8 grandkids and 3 great-grandkids, so I can hardly wait for them to see this because they've been pressuring me about the opening day. But my little granddaughter came up to me, and she just looked at Sophie, and she's 9, and she looked at me, and she says, I love the movie. And, I was watching her, and we were in the same row, and, the joy on these kids' faces, and the laughter, the laughter in this film, it's very funny, very poignant, a lot of heart and a lot of action. I mean,
we want to make sure, though, that this is not positioned as the movie for the kiddies. People that don't have kids can go to this movie and be okay. Yes. Yeah, a lot of people feel like they have to have a kid with them to gain entrance to the theater. Hey, I found a kid somewhere. Can I watch this movie now? And it's like, you can leave the kids away. You can be 20 and make it a date movie. It's actually fun.
But if I can
kids will love
piggyback,
it too.
if I can piggyback that, Brad, one of the things I think is so smart about what you did here, to your point, every one of us sees ourselves reflected at some stage in our life in this movie. And that's true whether you're thinking about the angsty teenager you were, or maybe you are already a mom, or you're somewhere in between. And I had such a special kind of getting to know my own character and thinking about what void represents to me, and thinking about what it is to be a woman in the world who's just trying to figure out if the world is going to accept you as you are, for who you are, if you're going to be allowed to use your gifts and shine, or if it's going to try to stomp on you. And that's true for anybody. And I think that every single one of our characters has something that makes them so relatable and identifiable. You know, I brought my parents last night, but I also brought a group of my best friends, none of whom have kids, except for one actually, who was like, I can't wait for my kids to see this. But, you know, all of my friends were like, we're going back next week.
Good.
We want to go back
Shove
and
those
see it
kids
again.
out of the way.
So this is not a movie for
You'll
kids.
get in eventually. Yeah.
It's for the grown-ups now.
Well, you know how the first movie was about a guy who worked at an insurance company having a midlife crisis?
Yeah.
And
That
then-
sounds like Money in the Bank, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
totally. And this one is about, you know, parents trying to deal with their child care issues.
Yeah. It's a growing sector, I think.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Incredibles 2 opens in theaters and IMAX theaters on June 15th. But for those of you who are watching right now at AMC IMAX theaters around the country, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for being here. And enjoy Incredibles 2.